This tiny camper van will change how you think about van life forever. Meet the auto sleeper Warwick XL. Everyone knows that the smaller the van, the more it asks you to live around it rather than in it. Fold the bed away, squeeze past the toilet, cook in a kitchen the size of a cutting board. All compromises. The Warwick XL didn't get this memo. It is a compact panel van that quietly breaks the one rule that has held back van life for years. And by the time we reach the rear, you will see exactly how it pulled off the one layout decision that changes the whole feel of this camper van. Let's take a look.
Motorhome luxury.
Starting with the chassis of this $115,000 beast, the Warwick XL sits on the current Fiat Series 2 platform and uses Fiat's 2.2-liter turbo diesel with 140 horsepower. Manual is standard, while automatic versions are also offered. And the key thing here is that Auto Sleeper is not asking you to wrestle around some oversized box just to get this much living space. At roughly 20.88 feet long, 7.41 feet wide, and 8.58 feet tall, the Warwick XL stays compact enough to feel realistic on normal roads, but long enough to hide a much more residential layout than you would expect. Come down the driver's side on the right, because this is the utility side of the Warwick XL. Around the midsection, you find the refill point for the Underslung LPG system, and that tank holds about 6.6 gallons in total. Right in the same side cluster are the cassette toilet hatch, the mains hookup point, the freshwater filler, and the heater flue. So this is clearly the side where the van's working systems are gathered. The freshwater tank itself holds about 18.23 gallons, while the waste tank is about 10.57 gallons and sits under the floor. That might not sound massive, but keeping the gas and water systems underneath is a huge part of why the inside feels so open. It is also one of the first clues to the larger theme here. The Warwick XL protects interior living space by pushing a lot of the heavy utility hardware out of the way. Up high at the back, you get the reversing camera, and underneath there is a full-size spare wheel, so even the rear remains practical, not decorative. There is a special layout behind the barn doors, but we have to wait a while before we see it. Let's look at the roof first, because the roof tells its own story too. Up there, you get the solar panel, the Wi-Fi aerial, the roof lights, and the roof-mounted awning hardware. The 100-watt solar panel is not pretending to turn the Warwick XL into a full off-grid expedition rig, but it does support the sense that this is a real tourer. The roof lights also matter more than they seem to from the outside, because once we go in, they are a big part of why the rear lounge and the center aisle feel less enclosed than many van conversions of similar size. Now, come around to the passenger side on the left, and this is the living side of the van. You get the external barbecue point here, which is a small detail but a useful one. You also get the full-length Thule canopy awning, the LED awning light, the sliding habitation door, and the electric entrance step that retracts automatically when the engine starts. The Warwick XL is not trying to win by being huge. It wins by making its footprint feel expandable. And now that we are standing by the sliding door, that is exactly what we need to test. So, let's step inside. Stepping inside through the passenger side sliding door, you arrive straight into the kitchen zone. And that is a smart move because the Warwick XL does not waste its entry space. Immediately you can see that this is not a token galley pushed into a corner. The worktop is genuinely usable, and Auto Sleeper helps that further with a slide-out extension that gives you more prep area right where you need it. The sink is centrally placed and works with a draining arrangement and cutlery drying detail, while above and around it you get proper cabinetry, a plate rack, and more storage than many smaller vans manage. Stay in this kitchen area for a second, because this is one of the strongest mid-van kitchens in a compact 2-berth. You get 3 gas burners, a separate oven and grill, a microwave, an extractor fan, a large compressor fridge with freezer compartment, a cutlery drawer, a kitchen roll holder, and enough low-level storage to make the whole thing feel settled instead of squeezed in. Too many vans this size ask you to accept a lounge-first layout and then compromise massively once it is time to cook. This one does not. It gives you a real kitchen, and because it is placed right by the sliding door, it also benefits from direct ventilation and easier day-to-day movement around it. Now move directly across the aisle to the driver's side, because this is where the Warwick XL earns the thing that makes it unique. Opposite the kitchen is the bathroom, and this is not a wet bath squeezed into a closet. You get a true separate shower cubicle here, along with the cassette toilet, wash basin, vanity cupboard with mirrors, storage cupboard, towel hooks, ducted heat outlet, roof vent with fly screen, and a proper bathroom window to help with airflow and condensation. This is the layout decision we mentioned earlier. It gives you the one thing that many van conversions still fail to do properly. a bathroom that feels like a room instead of a compromise. That changes the whole tone of the van. It makes longer trips feel easier, and it lets the rear stay a lounge instead of forcing that area to carry every function. And while we are still in this center section, this is also where you feel how carefully the van has been packaged. So much else has been thought through properly. The underslung LPG tank, the underslung water tanks, the compact plumbing layout, the targeted storage, and the new Truma CombiNeo heating and continuous hot water system. Now keep walking toward the rear, because this is where the entire Warwick XL relaxes. Once you move past the kitchen and bathroom, the back opens into a true lounge with two long inward-facing sofas running down each side. Instead of stepping into a permanent bedroom at the rear, you step into something that actually behaves like a small living room. The windows are long, the roof lights above help pull natural light deep into the van, the overhead lockers run along both sides. And the whole space feels wider because it is not broken up by a fixed island bed or bulky rear furniture. The seating itself is one of the Warwick XL's strongest points. Auto Sleeper uses high-quality reflex foam upholstery here, and both sofas are long enough to work as full-length singles before you even think about making up the double. Each single is about 6.30 feet long and roughly 2.30 feet wide, while the double comes out at about 6.14 feet by 6.30 feet. That is a genuinely adult-sized bed plan inside a campervan that still keeps its rear space open by day. There are also a lot of details back here that keep the lounge from feeling like just two benches and a table. You get storage under the seats, more storage overhead, a proper wardrobe, a cocktail cabinet with Auto Sleeper's crystal glasses, power points, reading lights, concertina blinds and fly screens, removable carpets, and both a freestanding table and a smaller single-leg table arrangement depending on how you want to use the space. Even the rear doors are trimmed in a way that helps the lounge feel finished when closed, not like you are sitting in the cargo end of a work van. That is part of the charm of the Warwick XL. It is very thoroughly thought through. Now, before we leave the rear, image those barn doors open. With that, the rear lounge stops feeling like the back of a vehicle and starts feeling like a little covered patio room. You get air moving right through, you get light from behind, and the whole van suddenly feels less like 20.88 feet and more like two connected living zones with a service core between them. During the day, the back is not sacrificed to nighttime furniture. It is a genuine place to live. Then when night comes, it converts into one big bed or two singles without having to redesign the entire van around the act of sleeping. Now, walk back toward the front and into the cab. The passenger seat swivels around to join the living area, while the driver's seat is more restricted because the bathroom sits directly behind it. That one detail tells you again how layout-led this van is. Auto Sleeper cared more about protecting the bathroom and rear lounge concept than about forcing a symmetrical swivel cab arrangement. Up front, you get the 10-inch touchscreen media console with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, steering wheel controls, cruise control, cab air conditioning, electric windows, electric mirrors, the electric handbrake, and concertina cab blinds. So the Warwick XL also feels current and easy from the driver's seat, which matters a lot because a van that feels tiring on the road would undermine everything good about the interior. So, did the Warwick XL's layout change your mind about van life? Let us know in the comments. Want to see a camper van that solves the space problem in a completely different way? If so, click on it and we will see you soon at a new luxury motorhome.